Yep. How did they not sort it? Their families have to deal with this in real time. And how is everybody scrambling to sort as a daily show? What say you, JP?
I don't know what playbook.
Found out this man has been cheating on me, found him pants down with another woman, and I'm living my truth. There has been a price to pay, but I'm excited about the future. And I love trying new things.
This might be the biggest case of karma doing a victory lap we've seen all year. Word is, Amy Robach just found out her so-called happily ever after with TJ Holmes was built on lies. And not just any lies, baby. We're talking betrayal so bold, it allegedly went down at their own engagement party. Like, imagine toasting forever with the same man who's sneaking around behind your back in the same building. Tea? It's nuclear. The fallout? Even messier. Because apparently, Amy wasn't the only one sipping from this scandal. Okay, so buckle up because this tea is scalding, and honestly, it's giving full circle karma in the messiest way possible. So Amy Robach allegedly just called off her engagement to TJ Holmes. And I'm not talking about a cute little breakup, baby. I'm talking about the fairy tale imploded. Like, we're talking about the kind of breakup that makes headlines for all the wrong reasons. The internet went absolutely feral when this dropped, and for good reason. But here's where it gets absolutely unhinged. Word in the streets is that TJ allegedly cheated on Amy at their own engagement party. Like, this man gave romantic speeches about forever and the love of his life in front of everybody, probably while texting someone else in the bathroom, honestly. And not just casual texting. We're talking full-on stepping out while their engagement party is happening upstairs. And Amy, she was blindsided. Out of the blue. No warning. Nothing. Just pure betrayal wrapped up in a champagne toast and a ring that apparently meant nothing. Now, get this. Just days before the world came crashing down, Amy and TJ announced they'd been secretly engaged for a month. A month, y'all. And everyone was like, oh my god, they finally escaped the karma. Fans genuinely believed these two were going to actually make it. Like, the redemption arc was being written in real time, the comments were glowing, people were celebrating them. There was actual hope, but plot twist? The redemption arc was fiction. A complete fantasy. Now here's where it gets messy. TJ's ex-wife? She was throwing major shade on the internet. And the response from the public was basically, yeah, that's what you get. Because remember, Amy and TJ didn't exactly start their relationship in the most honorable way. They got together while TJ was still married. So the internet was not sympathetic. The energy was straight up. You lose them how you get them, baby. And honestly, that narrative took off. Everyone was basically like, girl, what did you think was gonna happen? The rumors started flying that Amy had called off the engagement. The alleged reason? TJ stepped out during their engagement celebration. But here's the thing. People in the know started saying this wasn't some one-time slip-up. This was a pattern, an addiction-level pattern. We're talking about serial behavior. So here's what went down, and this is where Amy's whole world crumbled. She thought TJ's past affair was a one-off thing. You know, a failing marriage, desperate times, all that. Classic rationalization. People do stupid things when their relationships are dying, right? At least that's what she probably told herself. But after the engagement party incident, Amy allegedly started connecting the dots. And when she did, oh my god, the picture she got was dark.
TJ Holmes and Amy Robach are engaged, but the story behind this engagement announcement, I have to tell you about because it's hilarious. And it's not hilarious because these two cheated with each other and now their exes are now dating each other too. That's not the funny part of the story. The funny part of the story is the fact that they are telling people on their podcast that she's been engaged for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. And they've gone to football stadiums and she's been wearing her engagement ring and no one noticed, no one talked about it. So they had to come on their podcast because nobody would give them a show, an actual daytime talk show that they were fishing around for after their affair. They decided that they had to make this big announcement on their podcast because nobody was even interested. So according to People magazine, Holmes then joked how his fiance had been, quote, dangling a ring in everybody's face every chance you could, and nobody said a word. She says, I was in 3 massive football stadiums 3 weekends in a row, wearing my engagement ring very proudly, very excitedly, and kept waiting for somebody to point it out or ask me, hey, what's that? And it never happened. And if people saw it, maybe they were just being polite, she added. No, girl, they saw it and they didn't care. Oh, but the desperation doesn't stop there. Holmes then chimed in, we were intimately engaged with friends, very close people for the past 3 weekends. All of them are gonna think back and go, oh my God, how did we miss it? So they were hanging out with their own friends and they didn't notice the engagement ring. Their friends did not care either. People magazine says the couple promised to share some details about how it all went down at a later date on their podcast. No one cares, y'all. They are so I think they thought after their affair and them being on GMA3, not the main show, GMA3, I think they thought after the publicity and everyone talking about this affair that they had, that this was going to turn into a big opportunity for them to be big, well-known and have their own daytime talk show. They ended up having to create this podcast because no one really was interested. And apparently people still are not.
Reports say he'd been stepping out for all 3 years they were together. 3 years, not 1 year. Not a phase. 3 full years of lying. But it gets worse. Allegedly, Amy's own circle knew about it and didn't tell her. Like, her people watched her walk into this trap and said nothing. Can you imagine? Your friends knowing your man is a serial cheater and just staying quiet? And there's whispers that TJ only stayed with Amy because of the scandal optics. Like, he was trapped by his own mess and just rode it out. Stayed for the PR management. That's not love, baby. That's damage control on repeat. But wait, it gets so much worse. Because Amy allegedly wasn't even the first colleague. Reports start surfacing that TJ had multiple other affairs at Good Morning America. And the implication? He would have stuck it out with literally any woman he got caught with. This man wasn't loyal to Amy specifically. He was just trapped in a scandal. Let's rewind to 2015, because this is where the pattern gets dark and honestly predatory. There's a woman named Jasmine Pettaway. She was a 24-year-old script coordinator at GMA. She looked up to TJ as a mentor. That's the dynamic we're working with here, a power imbalance. A young woman admiring an older, successful man who had influence over her career. That's dangerous territory.
TJ Holmes just can't seem to stay out of trouble. More news has surfaced about the news anchor's secret life at the workplace. An inside source claims that TJ had an affair for several months with a woman named Jasmine Pettaway in 2015 when she was a 24-year-old intern. And of course, your boy TJ was married at the time. The source, who apparently knows Jasmine personally, claims that TJ took full advantage of her vulnerability. Apparently, this was Jasmine's first job in television and she was looking for a trusted mentor. And of course, your boy TJ was readily available. The insider also claims that TJ exercised his authority over Jasmine and eventually their relationship became physically intimate in his office. So what do y'all think of all this mess? Let us know.
And allegedly, their first encounter happened in his office, before they went on air. In his office. The whispers from insiders paint a picture of someone abusing his position of authority. This wasn't a romance. This was an of power wrapped up in a suit and tie and mentorship. But there's more. In that same 2015 timeframe, reports surface of another woman at ABC, an overnight associate producer in her mid-20s. And allegedly, witnesses saw her leaving TJ's office looking shaken. Not happy, not loved, shaken. That's the kind of detail that tells you everything you need to know. The reputation that was building, serial workplace behavior. Not a mistake, a pattern. So Amy, after the engagement party disaster, starts pulling the threads. And when she realizes the full volume of his affairs over 3 years, that's when she understands something truly painful. She may have been collateral damage the entire time. This relationship didn't happen because TJ fell in love with her. It happened because he got caught with her. She was the scandal he was stuck managing. That's a hard pill to swallow, honestly. And here's the foundation, or lack thereof, that they were supposedly building on. Reports say Amy and TJ fought more than they actually connected. Romance burned out faster than a TikTok trend. There was no foundation, baby. Just lust and scandal holding it together. Then they moved into a small NYC apartment. Pressure, scandal, no space, no escape. The whole thing imploded like a house of cards in a hurricane. And then they started doing a podcast together. And the tea that spilled on those episodes? Unhinged. Amy admits that TJ checks out emotionally during arguments. Just leaves, disappears internally. And TJ admits he avoids communication altogether. He just shuts down. The audience listening was like, girl, this man was never even checked in to begin with. The internet? They were clowning on Amy, not sympathetically. Like, the vibe was brutal. You ignored the red flags for years. This was so predictable. The hashtags were trending. The way you get them is the way you lose them. It became a whole narrative about karma finally landing exactly where it needed to. And honestly, the public didn't feel sorry for her. They felt like she got what was coming. Fans have been saying stuff like, what goes around definitely comes back around. The way you get them can be the way you lose them. Amy didn't know. She knew they cheated to be together. Commodus hit her up just saying, and why do side pieces always do this to themselves? If a man can betray his family and children like this, of course he'll lie to you and play you as well. There's no way they truly believe that they're the only one. No way you believe anything that mother said. But here's where karma gets the chef's kiss poetic. TJ's ex-wife Marilee, she moved on. And not just moved on. She moved on with Amy's ex-husband, Andrew Shue. Two people bonded by shared betrayal. And guess what? Their relationship is stable. It's successful. They built a multi-million-dollar business together. They're thriving, living unbothered, moving in silence while making moves. Meanwhile, Amy and TJ, imploding on a podcast, the career damage, both of them are essentially blacklisted. No network wants to touch this with a 10-foot pole. The reputational hit was too hard, too public. The scandal that trapped them together together is now keeping them both out of work. The very thing that kept them locked in this mess is now costing them their livelihoods. That's not just karma. That's karma with a severance package. So let's break down the full circle of this absolutely wild situation. Marilee, the woman who got cheated on, is thriving with a successful relationship and a multi-million-dollar business. She's living her best life. Amy, the woman who caught a man mid-affair, is stuck in the fallout, fighting with that same man on a podcast while nobody in the industry wants to hire her. And TJ? He's watching his ex-wife and her new husband build an empire together while his career is on ice. This is the ultimate lesson. Y'all, a man who cheats with you will eventually cheat on you. That's not just a saying. That's a prophecy. That's destiny. So at the end of the day, this wasn't a love story. It was a cautionary tale dressed up as romance. Amy thought she was getting her fairy tale, but what she really got was the sequel to someone else's heartbreak. And karma? She didn't just spin the block. She parked the car, got out, and rang the doorbell. TJ lost the marriage, the career, the reputation, and the woman he thought would save him from his own mess. Amy lost the image, the security, and the dignity she traded everything for. Meanwhile, the people they betrayed quietly linked up, built an empire, and moved on in peace.